Hello everyone. My name is Edwin Muiruri, and I'm here once again because I wanted to communicate a message of hope to someone out there who might be going through something that they feel is a lot to them. And the message I'm about to share here is a message that someone shared with me yesterday, being on a Sunday, and I felt I felt the conviction of having this same message passed to other people and to as many people as possible. And so here is the message, and I want to derive my message from the Bible. That is from the book of John. Yes, John. John is in the Bible. We used to say Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So it's just after Luke, John chapter 9. Yes, from verse number 1. Yes, and I want to communicate a number of points, probably 2 or 3 points, key points that is, you might be taking home for today. So, number one is in today's message, I want to teach you or show you a scenario case of how sometimes we go through a lot, and from the human's perspective, we tend to think of it as the blame on people, on other people, or on nature, like how we are created as human beings. We tend to find somewhere to lean our blame on, and that is not the case, as you will come to find out. So, number one, we are going to see that at times things will be happening in our lives or to us that are bad, quote unquote, or that do not look pleasant to us, but they are meant to be like that, and God allowed them to be like that so that He can use them to His glory, or to glorify Himself, for lack of a better word. And so, with that, that is the lesson number one, that some of the things you are going through are not as a matter of you, your shortcomings, your downfall. Stop searching so much into your soul. Sometimes it's not about you, it's about how it was meant to be. Just hold on and survive for the moment. Second lesson is that I'm going to show you a scenario case of how God uh, operates in very different many ways. That He doesn't have to use one formula for each case. He can use one formula for one person, and while you as a human being look at that, you might feel the conviction of okay, so I'm also expecting God to show up in my life the way He showed up to the other person's life, and that is not the case. He has a surprise for you, and that is the second case. And the third case is the testimonial part. That after everything is said and done, and after this season is gone, always remember to give a testimony. Testimonies are not for bragging or for showing yourself. They are for communicating to others a message of hope that there is hope in God. And without further ado, I'm going to go into the book of John, chapter 9, from verse number 1. I will read along as I highlight the points I was telling you about. So, John, chapter number 9, from verse number 1. As he passed by, he saw a man blind from his birth. So, this man is blind from the birth. And his disciples asked him, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parent, that he was born blind? So when you look at this chapter number 2, the disciples are asking Jesus, referring to him as Rabbi, that it's a question of, it's a closed question, if I may say so, whereby they are asking Jesus, is this man responsible for his blindness, or is his parents, are his parents responsible for his blindness? So this is the human setting, the one I was talking about, the human setting of we get through troubles or situations or challenges, we tend to find somewhere to lay our blame on. And just like the disciples, they were asking Jesus a closed question: who sinned, this man or his parent? They are sure that just can't be blind from birth anyhow. It's either him, his sins, or his parents. But look at how Jesus is answering this. Jesus answered, it was not that this man sinned or his parents, but that the works of God might be made manifest in him. That is John 9:3. It says, Jesus answered, it was not that this man sinned or his parents, but that the works of God might be made manifest in him. So Jesus is bringing up another perspective of looking at things. He's telling his disciples that it's high time we stop looking at things from a normal human's perspective. It's okay to look at things that way, but always have a third eye that tells you that could be that it doesn't have to do with his sins or his parents, but that the works of God might be made manifest in him. That whatever you're going through, either be it's a challenge and you're feeling overwhelmed, let yourself know this, that at times it's not about you, it's neither about your parents, it's neither about the sins you think you've done, because at the end of the day, I don't think there is anyone who is righteous. And stop looking at and judging your righteousness, putting questions all over yourself. Just know that God might be allowing this to come to you so that he can glorify himself, or like the Bible says, that the works of God might be made manifest in him. He's making you go through this that his works might be made manifest in you. So we continue from verse number 4. We must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. Night comes when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. As he said this, he spat on the ground. Now, this is the second scenario where I was talking of how God is going to handle a case for one person. And well, every one of us will be looking at it and be like, okay, the other person fasted and prayed and gave an offering, and God showed up in his situation. So I'm also expecting, now that I've prayed, I've fasted, and I've given my offering, God is also going to show up in my scenario the way he showed up in the other person's scenario. No, look at this from verse number 6. As he said this, he spat on the ground and made clay of the spattle and anointed the man's eye with clay, saying to him, go and wash in the pool of Siloam, which means sent. So he went and washed and came back seeing. This is it. Jesus in the Bible has healed a number of blind people, blind Bartimaeus. He has healed several blind men. But in this case, he chose to spit his saliva on the ground and mix that with clay or soil so that it could form mud. The mud used to, he applied the mud on the eyes of the blind man, and he told him, go and wash in the pool of Siloam, if I'm not wrong. Yes, go wash in the pool of Siloam, which means sent. So in this case scenario, he uses his saliva in clay. He mixes it up and applies on the eyes of this man, and he tells him, okay, you go out there and wash. And after the man washed, true to his word, he was able to see or regain his eyesight. So my second lesson is this, that while we will be expecting God to do to us like he did to others, let us always have this in mind, that God has very many ways of dealing with situations in this life. And the way he dealt with the situation elsewhere is not the way he's going to deal with the situation in your life. Learn that and learn that. And just pray that you'll have a connection with God, that you'll be able to trust him even when the situation is weary, even when your heart and body feels so weary. Trust in him, that even though you've done what you're supposed to do and it's not working out, he's having a formula in mind for you. And relax for that case and wait upon him. Don't start comparing yourself, that is the word, comparing yourself with the others and expecting that now that these guys did this, the person who shared this message, I want to say a good example he shared with us, that there was this girl who went to church, and he had reached the age of being married, and he was praying to God that he might get a spouse. So he went to church and prayed, and while he was praying, someone touched his shoulders and told him, okay, God has told me that you're looking for someone, and I was also looking for someone, so we can do this life together. And that one didn't mean that everyone that is going through the same situation needs to go and do the same, to go and to church. Wherever you are, God can bless you from there. So that is the second point I wanted to pass by. And the third one, before I cut short my video, uh, it goes from verse number 8. The neighbors and those who had seen him before as a beggar said, is this not the man who used to sit and beg? Some said, it is he. Others said, no, but he is like him. He said, I am the man. He said, I am the man. Situations are going to come whereby God will do something for you. And like we read what Jesus was saying when this situation was happening to this man, it was the intention of God that he will use it to his glory, or to glorify his name, or to manifest his works through the life of this man, or through your life. So for you to complete the cycle, like we say in physics, that you have to complete the circuit for the setup to function. It's the same case. God initiated this problem, so that he can manifest himself. And now he has brought a method or a formula for you out of this situation. Now, for you to complete this cycle, you have to do the third thing, and which is very important, which is you have to confirm out to people that God has done A, B, C, D into your life. Let it be known that it is God, and give God the glory. That is, if you subscribe to his word and to salvation and to Christianity. And by that, I think I've shared enough with you today. I thought of sharing that. Yes, and thank you so much for your time. continue following so that we can get to as many people as we wish. And God will bless you. Thank you so much.